Loneliness while losing weight is a weird kind of loneliness. You're surrounded by people you love who also love you, and yet nobody understands what you're going through. You're always the odd one at parties, not eating chips, not enjoying like everyone else is. You're the odd one who gets intense cravings for ice cream while everyone else can eat a normal amount and stop. You're the odd one who, when talks about hunger pangs on your diet, gets odd, concerned looks. Even if you share your experience with friends also losing weight, they may be losing weight faster. They may be finding hitting the gym easier. You're both walking the same path, and yet there's a sense of disconnect. And then, of course, there are family holidays. You're the odd one turning down mom's greatest cake, or worse, your parents make comments on your size as an odd way to encourage you to lose weight. You are on an island of isolation. I've been there, and with painful trial and error, I discovered 3 bridges off this island and toward a life where I lost weight while feeling seen, understood, and even actively supported in all the ways I dreamt of.
And you can do it too.
The first bridge off the island of isolation is a physical bridge. It gets you to physically be part of your friends' lives again at dinners and parties while not worrying about sabotaging your weight loss. Let's break this down. What stops you from enjoying parties while losing weight? It's because you've decided on a diet that dictates not eating junk, sweets, and let's be real, 90% of the stuff served at parties. So you stand around practicing extreme willpower to ward off temptations and feeling like a weirdo while everyone normal has a blast. But then when you give in and have a little bit, then a little more, then even more, you wake up the next morning feeling terrible about yourself and hide from the scale. But what if you reverse the order? First, you decide your activity values, and then pick your nutrition plan according to those values. Think of activity values like life values. For example, nature, justice, leadership, balance, and career are all life values, but you and I would rank them differently, and maybe not care about some of them at all. Similarly, clubbing, hiking, cooking, gardening, and brunch are all activities, but you probably care more about some and not at all about others. And yet, because most of us are simply reacting to invitations instead of planning them according to our activity values, we end up wasting our willpower and weight loss on social events we don't even value. So let's become proactive. I want you to take out a sheet of paper and write down all the activities you did this past week and activities you want to try but haven't yet. Then star the ones that are social activities and solo ones you could do socially. For example, you may be commuting alone, but there is no reason it couldn't be made into a social activity. Next, bucket the starred activities into 2 categories. 1, top 3 to 5 activities you love, can do socially, and don't necessarily involve food. Second, top 2 to 3 activities you love, can do socially, and involve food. Right off the bat, you have eliminated all the social activities you've been doing that didn't add value to your life. You no longer have to pause and ponder whether to accept or decline each invitation. It's clear what you say no to immediately. Then steer ideas for hanging out toward activities in bucket 1 whenever it makes sense. Before doing this journaling, 99.9% of my socializing was all around eating. It was revolutionary when I started proposing ideas like walking in a park or going to the library because the variety added to the fun, and I found many of my friends felt the same way. And finally, look at the activities in bucket 2 and honestly note down what kinds of foods are inescapable for each. For example, brunch was an activity value of mine, so pancakes, eggs, and lox bagels were inescapable. So I narrowed down my choice of nutrition plan to those that didn't require completely cutting out carbs altogether. Instead, I used a mix of behavior speed bumps like eating half and packing half, drinking a gulp of water after every bite, eating a big salad before the yummy stuff, and so on to slow myself down.
Think of this like creating a real plan, not an imaginary one where you think you will magically stop doing all of your top social activity values.
Now you have made it from the island of isolation to the land of people, but you'll find that even people who want to help you tend to make things worse. Think of the food pushers in your life, especially those who express love through stuffing you to the gills, or the people who think criticizing your size, food choices, and life choices is the way to motivate you to lose weight. They're doing it from a place of love after all. And then there are the opposite of the criticizers who will explain,
"But you look great. You don't need to lose weight. I love you regardless."
As if losing weight is akin to self-hate and not just a way to live longer the life you aspire to live. This is why the second bridge is the community bridge to your village of support. The community bridge is built on 4 pillars. 1, emotional support. These are the people in your life who are great at making you feel loved and cared for. You can go to them with your weight loss struggles and come out feeling understood. Second pillar is informational support. These are the people who have great information on how to lose weight. They are your go-to for problem solving. Third pillar is instrumental support. These are the people who provide functional assistance toward your weight loss. This could be waking you up to go to the gym in the morning or making foods that fit your nutrition plan. And the last pillar is companionship support. These are people who do weight loss activities with you, like cooking the right meals or going to the gym with you. Now, think of all the people you interact with in real life and online and categorize them into these 4 pillars. It's fine if a person upholds multiple pillars. Next, note down the top 1 to 3 problems you have with your weight loss. Then, for each problem, note down the type of support you need. Then who among the people you know could help you with this? And lastly, how exactly could they help you with this? Then hone in on the problems you have the weakest support in and start brainstorming ideas of how you could build that support for yourself. It's okay if some of the support is purchased, for example, a coach for informational support, or buying membership to a meal delivery service for instrumental support. It's also okay if some of the support is online, like building relationships in forums or subreddits for emotional support. Don't limit yourself into considering real-life existing friends only.
Well, heads up that from personal experience, this can reveal with alarming clarity
The people in your life that don't uphold any of the 4 pillars in any area of your life, much less weight loss. Now you have your village of support, but you'll find that if your weight loss motivation plummets, so does your village's push in supporting you toward them. Think back to the times your weight loss stalled and you started thinking, what's the point of not eating pizza when I don't lose weight anyway? Or maybe you were about to hit the weight number at which you regained weight last time, so you start thinking, I'm gonna gain it all back again. And so you start slipping and sabotaging yourself. You know that even if you have all 4 pillars of support, none of these people can change your mind for you. Which is why you also need to build your third and last bridge, the dream bridge. To do this, make 2 lists. The first list is of activities you want to do. These could be big goals like hiking Mount Kilimanjaro, or it could be more day-to-day goals like kayaking or biking every weekend for longer and longer miles. Think of active lifestyles of people you know or you've seen online that have inspired you. The second list is of activities you don't admire. These could be getting out of breath after climbing a slide uphill, or it could be not keeping up with your kids, or avoiding travel because you lack energy. Then I want you to take each activity on this list and invert it into an activity you admire and put it on the first list. Now take the first list and start the top 1 to 2 activities you feel the most excited about doing. The kind that make you starry-eyed thinking how cool you'll be doing it. And then I want you to scale each back into a minimum inspirational activity you can start today. For example, my dream when losing weight was to hike the Camino de Santiago across Spain, but that's a lot. It's 6 weeks long and a lot of training is needed to do it back-to-back days on tough terrain. A 1-step scaled-back version is a 1-week hike down the Rota Vicentina in Portugal. 1 more step back is a full-day hike every weekend, and so on until the minimum inspirational activity I landed on was to do a 4-hour hike every other week. I could have scaled it back even further to a 1-hour hike every weekend, but that felt too far removed from the inspiration of hiking the entire Camino. It's too boring. A few weeks in, I would have forgotten why I was doing it in the first place and be back to square one of doing nothing toward my dream life. Your minimum inspirational activity sits in the sweet spot between too much and too boring. And then the last step is to find people to do your minimum inspirational activity with. These are people who remind you through their actions why you need to keep going when you hit plateaus or when you start double guessing yourself. Now that you have your support system, how do you pick a weight loss plan that plays harmoniously with it? This is why you don't want to ignore this video where I bust 3 myths which will cause you to pick the wrong weight loss plan for you. These 3 myths cause my weight loss journey to be 2 times longer than necessary. So you don't want to miss the complete step-by-step breakdown here. And always remember, you can do it.